Shut up and sit down.
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 5 of the STS Guys. I'm Jeremy.
It's Leo.
It's Scott.
Hey, it's Larry.
Hey, this week we have a busy agenda for you. We're talking about some new announcements from Apple, the Equifax data breach, that shitstorm that's happening with them, some updates from the Olympic Committee, some of the movies and TV that are coming on this fall's lineup, some upcoming content that we have that we're preparing for you, and also a giveaway update that we have from our latest contest. So let's go ahead and kick it off and talk about Apple.
So you guys know I'm a fervent Android follower. I'm an Apple reformed addict.
You flip-flop so often.
I haven't in a while.
Yeah, it's been
since
a little
like
bit.
iPhone
yeah.
4. But I do like to.
And it was the 6.
I do. Oh, it was the 6. It was the 6. That's right. I'll have to put a picture up on Twitter, but I actually smashed that thing to pieces because I got frustrated.
As you should.
I
have.
remember that. I remember that you. I said you went in, and I said you stomped that thing to shit.
Smashed it to pieces. Although, disclaimer, the battery gets really hot when you do that, so just be aware of that.
If you puncture the battery, they tend to explode.
So I did break out some time during the day. I like to watch the Apple keynotes, Google I/O. I like to follow those new product updates.
We know they only do it for one thing, and that's the one more thing that they throw in.
Which they didn't have this
They didn't
time.
have a one more
There was
thing?
no one more thing.
It
No
was
one more thing.
It was thanks by Get Out of Steve Jobs Theater.
Real quick, too, I just have to say, out of the 4 of us that are sitting at this table right now, I think it's so funny that you're actually talking about Apple when the one person that actually has an Apple at this table is
Quiet
talking
as a
about
mouse.
Oh, hello.
They had the announcement at the Steve Jobs Auditorium or Theater, which is on site of their new spaceship campus.
Spaceship.
It is actually
Fucking fancy.
It was actually really nice to look at it, but they had
like every Apple product.
yeah, and that's it.
Larry, I know you're just...
I
Human.
don't even care, man. I don't even care.
I will say they have Apple TV updates. They're going to 4K. You know, welcome to 3 years ago. The iPhone 8 will be offering some cool benefits. The 10, I don't know what happened to 9. Maybe 7, 8, 9.
I don't think it's the 10. I think they just want to be edgy and cool and call it the iPhone X.
Well, Johnny Ive did not call it the X, but he did say things like aluminium and harmony.
Is it revolutionary still?
Is it revolutionary?
Yes, it's revolutionary and
It's revolutionary.
innovative. But what's hilarious is, again, welcome to 5-6 years ago. They're adding in wireless charging for the iPhone 10.
Oh.
Yeah, shocker.
Hello, Android.
I will say this piece is pretty cool, but they're creating what's called, air power, because that's.
It just can't be wireless charging,
No,
right?
no,
Because
air power.
everyone has that.
But they are creating a platform which is, I'm doing it with my hands. It's probably about 7-8 inches long
We're
by
on camera
4
this
inches.
time, so you can actually show.
You can show yourself.
can-
There's this weird oval shaped thing going on.
And it's 7-8 inches.
7 8 is the size of Leo's dick.
And you can charge your iPhone on it, your Apple Watch, and the EarPods all on one device, which I do have to say is pretty cool because having an Android Wear device and my phone and my Samsung headphones, like it is annoying to take out an outlet on your wall and put a 6-port USB thing in there. So that is kind of cool. You just set it all on there and it charges all in one spot. But again, welcome to 6 years ago. Like, where was this years ago?
Yeah.
They are offering a Series 3 Apple Watch, which looked kind of cool, but the only difference is they're adding in cellular, which 2 years ago the LG
Which I
Urbane
saw. I
threw
think
out.
that's a separate $10 plan, right?
It is a separate plan depending on your service provider, and it's another $90 if you want that cellular service on the watch. You can get the Series 3, which is really the Series 2 because it doesn't have.
It doesn't have the cellular.
The only difference, I will say, technically speaking, the only difference between the Series 3 non-cellular and the Series 2 is that it has a barometer in it, so you can get your elevation.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I'm always wondering what my
Yeah.
elevation
Yeah.
is.
Right.
I want to know how many feet above sea level I
I
am.
am so curious is that at any given moment of the day, I need a watch to tell me this.
I'm
I
telling
think I heard you the other day.
I was like,
you're
I
asking-
want to know how many feet above sea level I am. Am I 90? Am I 115? I don't know.
I don't know. I still use the compass app to see what heading I'm going. So all I know is I'm that guy doing the circle 8 thing,
That's the calibrating. Calibrating.
following the blue dot, right?
Yeah,
All in all, it was probably a 90-minute ordeal. They had, of course, the retail stuff, which I love it. They're saying that the Apple Watch is now the #1 most purchased watch above Rolex.
Wrong.
Pause intended. False.
Fake news.
I would love to see those stats because
I'm gonna go ahead and say here, the Walmart Timex is probably the most purchased watch.
Right. Well,
on the market.
I remember a keynote a few years ago where they were saying that iOS is the most adopted mobile operating system over Android. And they had a graph that showed the quick growth for Apple and then the steady one for Android. But what they, and you guys are analysts, it's all in the eye of the beholder, right? What they failed to mention was that Verizon doesn't let you update anything except iOS right away. You know, Verizon, you'll be a year out before you get, what is it now, Oreo?
The
Oreo.
I think,
Or I don't know what they're calling it.
yeah, whatever candy,
Marshmallow,
whatever
Oreo.
candy they've adopted.
or new. What is that one? Marshmallow, nougat, Oreo.
is
Is
the new one. Yeah.
So in
They've
any case,
adopted the name brand.
of course, Apple is growing faster because they're a big bully and they make the service providers push out their updates.
All right. So one thing that we haven't talked about is it's the price.
Oh, the base unit is at least 1,000.
At least.
At least.
No, be fair. It's $9.99.
Okay, yeah, that's
So it's $9.99. So basically,
the base
the
unit.
Geo Metro that's sitting on the corner, down the street from me, I can go buy that for $650.
Right.
I still have $350 left over.
Well, you have the added challenge now of not dropping it even more because it's all gloss.
yes,
Oh.
yeah. They don't have the metal backing like they did on the previous.
So it's really they're bringing back the form factor of the 4, which was all glass,
yeah.
and giving it the price of every iPhone combined.
But what we're failing to bring up here is that that's just the base model, and this year they did announce one better model. There is 2, and that is what is it? Is it still the 8S this time again?
No,
Is
they
it-
are staying with 8.
and
And
8 Plus.
8 plus, and then
then
straight to X. I mean 10. I mean
X10.
Roman numeral X.
No one actually knows if it's supposed to be X or 10. Like,
They announced it as 10.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
that's
supposed to be
the
10,
thing.
but
Yeah.
everyone's going to call it X.
But
right.
to be honest with you, like
because they forgot 9.
well 7, 8, 9.
7, 8, yeah. Touche, bad jokes for Leo.
I
Leo's
think-
got dad jokes, everyone.
I think
But
they were really trying to meet the whole 10-year anniversary of the iPhone, and I'll give them that. But you couldn't have pushed out a POS
right.
to give you a 9.
Well, okay, well,
They're trying to follow the Microsoft because
Well,
Microsoft
well,
went
here-
from
here-
7
well, here,
to 10.
let's count them out though, because like I said, they actually might be at 10 because they're counting the 3G, the 3GS, the 4, the 4S. Like I said, if they're
You're well above 10 at that
if you're
point.
That's true.
if you're following that, I think
Yeah.
you actually might be at 10 or above.
You're above 10.
Yeah.
Because they used to do it every other year. They'd bring out a new model.
Yeah, 'cause-
So it was 5 and then 5S.
I
and
do
then
have to say-
6S.
I am looking forward to, and I say it every year after a keynote, I'm looking forward for them to get in the mid-teens and then the 20s. Like the thought of saying, yeah, I got the iPhone 12S. Like how absurd is that?
Right. I think that's what the point of the X is. At what point are they going to go back to like the I have the iPhone?
Next year it's gonna be the iPhone XI.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
yeah.
just need to stop and be like, I have the iPhone. Just like stop putting model numbers after it. Like at
Yeah.
a certain point, you just got to stop.
Well, they did that with the iPad. They went iPad, iPad 2, the iPad, and then they went on to iPad Air and all those
Yeah.
other
Like a
fake
Pro,
British
right?
accent places.
It's
Yeah.
like getting all those things. Now, my favorite part of that whole thing is the FaceTime or the face unlocking thing.
Oh god.
Face recognition.
The face
So
recognition.
so the Microsoft Connect
Yeah,
unlock.
well, yes, the Microsoft Connect unlocked that didn't work during their demonstration. That's the best part of it is
Yeah.
that they couldn't get it to actually open.
He had to break out the backup phone.
He had he had a backup that they had to use because theirs didn't.
Which
actually do
probably
what they
was
said.
just, for my lack of technical knowledge, is probably just a video or something absurd that wasn't actually the unlock.
right. Oh yeah, they had one probably pre-unlocked that mimicked it.
Yeah.
but still.
Do we need, like I said, do we need a phone that basically looks at your face to unlock it? Like,
Yeah.
is it really that hard to
I don't
hold
use
your-
the iris scanner on mine.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
But
Yeah.
is it worth $1,000 to have that?
No, like, no, it's
and
not.
that there is the point. That there is the point. Like I said, is it
What
worth it
happened
to
to the
have?
4 digits? I type in 4 little numbers and my phone unlocks.
Well, it is only $7 more if you get the AT&T Next program.
Oh, hooray! I can pay $7 to not do it. And by the way, hello NSA. I'm sure they're loving this facial recognition shit.
Let's feed them the let's feed them the faces of every hipster out there.
Every hipster and Apple fanboy is now going to be a target of the NSA. Good job.
All in all, though, like after watching the keynote, like it was interesting to watch their new products and for the sake of new electronics.
They do well with their
yeah,
marketing.
they do
right? It's a
very
good
well
event.
with it, and
Oh, yeah.
they have the entire West Coast that loves their product, so they got that going for
Yeah.
them.
So is anybody at this table going to buy it?
No.
No.
Count at this table because the wife will buy it.
I think that counts.
Yeah, my wife will probably end up picking that one up.
No, so we have
Or she's within her 2 years, so she'll probably pick up the iPhone XS, whatever comes out next year.
Yeah.
According to her 2-year
I'm
window.
pretty sure I'm out of my 2-year window. I'm really close. I have a hard time. I don't like that we slid into this world where every year, every other year, we have to spend, thousands of dollars on a phone
Yeah.
that isn't that much better.
Right.
Well,
So
here's the thing that I always think is weird. Like every other technology, once it gets like a year old, the price drops significantly.
Yeah.
But then with phones, like they come out with a new version that's only slightly better.
Well, no one's
yet
going
the price
back-
has gone up.
yeah, no one's going back and buying the 7
No.
now because
Right.
the X is
Right.
coming out.
But you think
Nobody
about it, like,
cares.
Everybody's gonna wait until November.
Yeah.
The 8 was, or the 7 or whatever was like $7.99 when you bought it, and then the next one was $8.99 at launch. But why did that? Where did that $100 come from in the new phone? Like the parts are cheaper now. Like why is that thing like? Why does the price of a phone keep going up every time?
Well, my whole thing is, like I said, it's just, like I will try to keep my phone because my thing boils down. I will upgrade my phone if my battery just completely takes a shit on me.
Yeah.
Like if
You don't
and-
want to
and-
keep
and
walking
that's-
around with the
long as
battery
possible.
pack.
and that's where mine comes in. If I can't get through half a day on on a charge, that's where I'm like, hey, you know what? It's time to upgrade. Just because like I said, not only for me, if I need to get in contact with my family, this, that, or the other.
It's
I'm
just
like,
inconvenient
it's
having to
I
live on a
can't
cord.
browse the internet. I need a
Well,
new phone.
you're
Yeah,
a
Scott
different
can't do
you're a different caliber,
the key
dude.
part of his job right now and browse the internet.
yeah, that is what I do.
When you can't look at the website you own of Reddit, then yeah, I think there is a problem.
So as the only Apple owner, I would say that the battery on my 7 has taken a crap the last 2 months. So
As is expected,
Yeah,
right?
as is expected, yeah.
It's in concert with the timeline.
This is not
As the updates come out.
Yep.
this is not something that is actually on the keynote, but it is something that kind of relates to this. I was actually just reading a lawsuit recently. Apple just basically confirmed that their phones' batteries are not to last more than 1 year.
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw
yeah.
the lawsuit.
I didn't see that.
So basically, what they said is, even though the iPhone, they say that their life is supposed to be longer than a year, Apple is basically trying to cling to the fact that any repairs that they have to do, or their basically expected life, can only be as long as their manufacturer's warranty of 1 year. So basically,
There's a
Apple's
class
saying-
action on it
there's
right
class
now, right?
action on it
Yeah.
right now. Basically, Apple's saying, if your phone's over 1 year, fuck you. Is basically what they're saying. So it
Well,
almost confirms that
it's a forced upgrade. Like honestly, like I said, I don't know if it's me, and I'm like, I'll take a poll of everyone at this table, and I want you to answer honestly. And this goes, is it regardless of Apple or Android or anything else like that. Literally, as the new generation comes out, as the updates come out, I see my phone getting slower and slower, and the battery life getting crappier and crappier.
That's by design.
As basically as the updates and everything else come out.
forced obsolescence.
Yes.
Yeah.
absolutely. But it's 2 years
Yeah.
old, man,
Yeah,
and I just
right.
spent hundreds of dollars on this. Why is it getting obsolete so
Give me my
fast?
Nokia that lasted like 4 years.
Wait, how do I have?
Let me
a-
play Centipede again.
Right.
Yeah.
Why do I have a 5-year-old like Amazon Tab that has this battery has not changed since the day I bought it? Like, if there's
Right.
anything, explain
No,
to me
you're
that.
right.
If that thing can last as long as that $30 piece of shit did, like, why can't my phone do the same damn thing?
Now, I'm glad you mentioned that though, because one thing that I did not see in the keynote, and it might have been I did have to step away for about 15 minutes. I was at work, so let's be honest.
Leo.
I had to work.
You don't have to actually work. I know what you do for a living.
So I did step away, but I did not see any updates on, is it the HomePod, their smart speaker?
Their smart speaker.
I did not see any updates on that.
Well, because they're
I don't
probably
think they
embarrassed.
had any.
They're probably embarrassed to say anything because Amazon has. I can't say the word just because I have one in the background.
I don't turn on.
I
was arguing with it earlier.
Yeah. So like I said, they're first to market. They've cornered the market. I said even
Yeah,
though I said with
they
Google
did a
and everything
great
else,
job with
they've
it.
done a great job. They're integrated into so many different things
Yep.
now. It's so easy to use. It's at a price point that anybody can pick up.
Well, yeah, you can get the big one, which is great, but then you guys, like, I don't want to get us off topic, but you can get the speakers that attach to the smaller ones at a price point that you can put them all over your house. You get the
Yeah.
Google Home one, that's $200 a piece
Yeah.
in every
Yeah.
room.
Well, especially with the dots, and now that you can set the play groups
Yeah,
and actually have it
'cause
play
yeah.
throughout your house.
Right.
Well, and
There's
me and
no
Scott,
reason
I
not
said-
to get it.
Yeah, me and Scott have like these, like I said, the dots. I said which we picked up for like $35. Well, like I said when we got them on sale. But then they also have these $50 basically base stations that you can actually drop them in.
Which
Where
turns them into the full size
The
unit.
full size,
That's-
that's portable.
and
Right.
it's portable, battery
Six
battery powered.
6 hours of battery.
Yeah,
Like,
and so it's one of those things where, like I said, like I said, they cornered the market on it, so I don't see Apple ever catching up to that.
No, I don't either. Even Google, for that matter.
I would see that Google at a certain point combines effort
Well, here's
and tries to do like a
Well,
a
Google,
single
I
unit.
have the Google Home because
I'm sorry.
I'm a huge Google supporter, but Google doesn't Google. How absurd is that? You ask it something and it says, "Sorry, I can't do that."
Yeah.
wow.
The fuck? Like,
Yeah.
excuse me?
Okay, besides Apple and Google, though, like I said, there's another shitty company out there that I think that impacts us all. That impacts everyone out there in the audience. That impacts everyone here at this table. That impacts my neighbors to the left and to the right of me. Like I said,
Jeremy, I think you're bringing up Equifax.
Equifax.
Oh.
okay.
Yes. So, as everyone knows, Equifax recently created a shitstorm. Is the best way I can put it. I will say this as a poll for everybody out there. You're gonna look dumb because this is gonna be recording, but raise your hand if you have a mortgage. Right? We all have one except for Leo because he rents. Right?
I don't fix stuff. I don't
3 out
adult.
of 4 of us. So anybody that's ever basically done anything with credit might have just had their info released to whoever wants to actually buy it.
You know what's ironic about that though is they have on their main broadcast page, because I was trying to look it up this week, they ask you to click here to see if you're impacted. You click here, they ask you for your social, your birthday, all of your information.
If you
So-
put anything in there,
You
it
want-
says
you want me-
yes, you were impacted.
You want me to give
So,
you my information
there's, like,
again?
I'll try to throw it in the show notes if I can find it. But there's this video out there that's floating around where someone puts in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then basically the first name test, last name test, and then the probably, well, you may have been impacted.
Yeah.
Basically, that's a thing of like, yeah,
It's for
you've
those
been impacted.
worrying people
Yeah,
out there.
it is.
That,
Well, and, here's the thing. So I know things that can happen, like, and things happen all the time. Where, like I said, people are getting hacked here, left,
Data
right.
breaches.
I think the thing that bothers me specifically with this one is the way that they've actually handled the situation.
you mean going dark?
Yeah, and that's basically.
I've heard nothing.
No,
from
my
it.
favorite part of it is they have this breach, and then like all their C-level employees just bailed on their stock.
Well, so yeah, so they sell their stock.
They sell their stock
Ahead of time, right?
Right, ahead of time.
They've known about this for weeks or months.
like a week
But-
or two.
but
they
of
sell
course-
their stock
but-
and then announce, "Hey, we had a breach like 3 weeks ago."
Well, Larry,
Yeah.
just to let you know, before they sold their stock, even though they're executives, they didn't know about this.
yeah, they had no idea.
So this
So
isn't
that,
being.
that makes it
that makes it
okay.
okay.
So
Right.
is the
Okay.
SEC not trying to slap them with
Oh, no,
insider
well,
trading with
this,
that?
This has gone
Because that's got
beyond-
Martha Stewart written all
I
over it.
don't think they care about that quite yet.
No,
I
this-
think that's going to be a future
going
problem
to.
for Equifax.
Yeah, this has
Yeah.
gone beyond SEC. This is like now it's in the hands of Congress. Elizabeth Warren right now is trying to
The
introduce
bulldog of Congress.
Yeah, the
basically.
bulldog of Congress
Oh,
is,
yeah,
trying to,
they-
is trying to introduce so much legislation right now to where basically it's going to bury them, and then where they have to basically make it free to provide credit. Because here's the thing too: So
You only get one a year.
the besides credit reports,
Right.
the thing that has everybody kind of up in arms is the recommendation is, hey, you know what? Go out there and
Freeze your credit.
and freeze your credit. But the
Yeah.
problem is, it's not free to do that.
Yeah, it costs like $10 or $15
Yeah,
depending
it's
on
$10 to
the
$15
agency.
depending on the agency.
What is
And-
that?
And the problem,
So that no new accounts get opened?
yeah. So basically, is that if a new account gets opened, you have to provide. They give you like a PIN number.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you have to
So-
give that
yeah.
PIN number.
So we'd be-
But here's the thing that's great about this is there are 3 major credit reporting agencies, right? You can't do one freeze. You have to go do one for each of those 3.
I got an update in regards to that PIN number. I don't think any of you have read this article yet, but it's hilarious.
Probably not. Go ahead.
Okay, so the PIN number that they so back to Equifax again. The PIN number that they were giving you was basically the time and date stamp of when you've registered.
Oh,
so for
fun.
example, if you registered on 9/16/2017 at 8:58 p.m., your PIN number was 09162017-858.
Oh Jesus.
And so people, like I said, this started kind of like trickling around the internet, like, hey, you know what? That's kind of weird. And so people way back to 1996 of like when all this started, that's the way they've been doing it this entire time. They just recently, in the last 2 weeks, switched to a random number generator for their PIN numbers.
Oh jeez. Well, my favorite was something I just found out recently was about who their chief security officer was. So the person in charge of all security of Equifax, the end-all be-all, went to school for music composition. The person
that's
they had
pretty
in charge
important.
of are the
soft
security.
sciences.
Yeah, the soft sciences. She can play a damn good clarinet probably, but I really doubt her ability to actually talk about cybersecurity or understand what that word even means. Like, I bet if you ask her what does cybersecurity, she would stutter.
Well, she just put a lock on her clarinet.
Yeah,
I honestly picture.
I know treble clefs. Like what? Like no.
No, I picture. I said those of us who have seen IT Crowd, I picture the lady that at the head of the IT department.
Jen?
Yeah, so
it's
Jen.
Jen. Yeah, at OIT.
Where she's going and presenting the box that is
Yeah,
the
that is the internet.
The blinking box that
The
is the
blinking
internet.
bucket is the internet. Yeah. It's
Or that if
got
you
the thing,
Google
it's like-
Google, the internet will break?
Yeah. The thing is, like, how do you, as a company that maintains that level of personal information on millions upon billions of people, because they're an international company, it's just not U.S. I mean, for fuck's sake, in Argentina, their username and password was both admin. Like, so if you wanted to get information on Argentinian, like, companies or people, you just had to put admin and bin into one of their, like, web portals, and you could get back-end access to half of their shit.
So basically, a Linksys router that you go and buy off the shelf at Best Buy is more secure
Yeah,
than the
pretty-
security
pretty
provider
much.
like
With the
Equifax.
random key that they give you as a password, yes, it was more secure than their shit. It makes sense that why? Like, how do you have a person in charge of that level of like high-end information come from music? Like, get somebody that actually has ever touched a computer.
I think even regardless
That's the
of
problem
that,
with organic
and
growth.
Larry, I want you to weigh in on this in regards to how, like, as a consumer, what would you expect their actions to be?
So I'm gonna turn it around a little bit. Like, I feel like I'm a horrible adult. I really don't even care. Like, right? Like, aren't there data breaches like all the time? I understand that this is the biggest one and it impacts a lot of people.
I'm pretty sure Target, through Target, they've already got all my info
Yeah,
anyway.
did Home Depot and like I feel like everybody gets hacked. I'm gonna go under the assumption that this one's like 1 million something people.
Yeah.
The chance that they're gonna get to me is very low. I'm not even paying attention to this. Someone's gonna steal my identity, open an account at some point, whether it's because of this or another thing. It's gonna happen.
All I have to say
Basically,
is
what Larry's saying right now is hey, he doesn't care, but don't hack Larry.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna hack me sometime, man.
What was that? What was his date timestamp? Let's get
yeah.
his PIN number.
Here's the thing. If anybody steals mine, good luck, because I am so far in debt. Like, you are not getting shit.
Yeah.
Here's your $500 credit card limit.
Yeah, no. Oh, thank you. No, you're gonna get denied. Like, you're gonna come with me and like, you can't have any more credit cards. You are awful with money.
and here's the thing. So I just think I think that this could have not all been resolved. It could have been, like I said, they could have relaxed it a little bit more. Is if they would have come out saying, hey, you know what, we're not going to charge for the credit freezes, which they're now not doing.
They finally did.
Just because, like I said, they've bent to the pressure of oh yeah, everyone bitching and moaning about them.
You can't benefit from your mistake.
Yeah,
Right. You can't be like,
that's
I
the
want
thing.
$5 for the,
Yeah.
the error that I
Yeah,
made.
you can't, as long as you don't benefit from your mistake. You know what? Mistakes happen.
Right.
Do what you can to fix it.
Well,
take ownership of
own
it.
it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Other thing
Own
that
it.
I want them to get rid of is, so they offer this whole like credit reporting, like basically like their in-depth credit protection. But to
You
get
couldn't
that,
protect it from the start.
no, but that's true. But here's even the worst thing. Here's the worst aspect of that is in the agreement when you sign up for their little like 1 year free credit counseling or whatever, you are forced to in the terms and conditions to opt out of being able to like sue
Class
them.
action? Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
opt out of
there
any
was-
type of
They're
lawsuit.
update. They do an update.
They
with
did
that.
an update with that.
You have to,
But
you have to send a letter.
You have to physically write them within
Of
30
the
days
of doing it.
in
Yeah.
order to do that. So you can't. So
It's not like an automatic.
It's not
you're
an
not
automatic
in
thing
this.
that it's not in there. It's,
Well, I did see that. What is it? Oh God, it's all these acronyms. CFPB, the Consumer Federal.
the Fair Credit Reporting Act. There.
No,
I
it's
know,
it's the bureau.
the bureau.
Yeah.
ODB.
No, it's CFPB or something. But
STP?
they're basically introducing regulation where any
DVD.
damn it, Scott. Any
ATM?
DVDA.
any terms of service that has an arbitration clause in it is illegal. Basically, is what they're trying to push through.
STD.
But anyway, so I lost my train of thought with that one.
Well, Leo, there's something here that I think is on our agenda that we can go through because I think we've beat a dead horse at this point.
Or stolen one.
We've yeah, basically. There's something that at this table I think you're the only person that gives a shit about. So
I wouldn't say that. I want Leo.
Leo.
I want Leo to basically win me over. Win me over. Make
Oh,
me feel,
I didn't agree to any of that.
No.
well, we wanted to blindside you with this to try to get you to actually try to get us to watch this shit.
So what's this mystery topic you texted us about, Leo?
So the other day, it was Thursday, the International Olympic Committee announced the host countries and cities for the 2024-2028 Summer Olympics.
And I bet you lost your mind.
I did.
Why? Where is it?
2024 will be held in Paris, and 2028 will be in Los Angeles.
So both of them will smell like shit.
Yeah, you got me there. It was one of the announcements itself was kind of groundbreaking in that the IOC has never actually simultaneously announced a host city for two different cycles at the same time. So there was they knew it was between Paris and LA. They just didn't know which cities would get what year.
So I was kind of reading because like I honestly, I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm like, I don't really know anything about the Olympics. So I had to look up a couple different articles to kind of figure out kind of what's going on.
I remember one time they were in Utah.
Utah, the great state of Utah.
The great state of Utah.
But like I said, and correct me if I'm wrong, Leo. Like I said, one of the kind of things of choosing LA was to kind of prove to, hey, you can actually have the Olympics in a city that's actually already built to kind of take on without having to build an entire Olympic village, having to invest so much money into in providing the buildings and everything else like that.
Right.
Where because LA has the Coliseums, it has the arenas, it has everything else that's there that can actually host these events without having to have a big foothold in regards to investment in regards to building these Olympic villages.
Right, and then having abandoned towns
Exactly.
2 months later.
Like, look at Sochi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Now, I think
disaster.
Larry and I had a discussion about, though, how, like, that's great for the city, but how shitty is that for the people that want to actually, like, watch the Olympics? Because if you're looking at two different sports that are in two different locations and you're in fucking LA, you are not getting across LA.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was looking at the map yesterday, and so to give our Phoenix listeners perspective, think of LA as Phoenix proper. We're in this sort of circle.
Expand that out. Put it as the U.S., Leo, because we do have some people in the U.K. and Australia that do listen.
Okay, great. So it's basically
And
this,
Canada.
It's this,
and Canada.
It's
We
this
do have some
huge
Canucks.
Canucks.
Maple syrup.
But they are taking the venues and they're spreading it across about 5 different sites. Now that doesn't sound too bad. And when you look at things like Rio and in China, they were spread out as well. But we're talking about a city that has traffic at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Right, we're trying to get from one part of LA to the other one.
You're not going to get from the Valley to South Beach in time to get to another
Right,
event.
no, you-
That
And this
traffic's
is-
going to be awful.
This is in like 11 more years.
Yeah.
2017 traffic sucks in LA.
Yeah,
It's
and they're
gonna
not
get better.
doing anything.
No, it's
to
not like,
make it
hey, let's make
better.
them a new freeway.
They're building more houses. Like there's more people.
Well, you
coming
have
in.
2 new football teams in there. The city just continues to grow. It's not
Yeah.
going to stop growing, right? So you have all these issues compounding an already bad situation.
Yeah.
But I am excited, having come from LA.
Are you actually gonna are you gonna go to a few events?
I did. I signed up to actually volunteer.
Of course you did.
Wait, you can volunteer now for 11 years from now?
You can sign up to volunteer.
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, you don't know if you're going to be alive 11 years from now, but you're volunteering.
But damn it, I'm going to be in
I
LA.
can go to the fucking Olympics and I can hold a flag during swimming.
Why is it got to be swimming?
I'm just guessing one.
It's going to be swimming.
It's gonna be. You're gonna get stuck with the dudes in
beach
Speedos.
volleyball.
No, Leo's
What-
not gonna be that lucky.
Did you,
I have
okay,
to say.
So what events did you volunteer for?
It's right now. It's just generic. It's put your name, email. We'll contact you later.
So Leo's getting men's swimming.
Yeah.
He doesn't get volleyball.
I
He's
will
not
be
gonna
swimming.
see. He's not gonna get to see chicks in swimsuits. He's gonna see the dudes in speedos.
Or golf.
So if you were to go just as a fan, right? What events would you want to see?
I would love to see archery. I would love to see, of course, the opening ceremony. But let's be honest, I'm not going to an opening ceremony.
I don't think anybody's
No.
gonna get into that
Well,
shit.
so because here's the thing. So I can't imagine too many people volunteering 11 years from now. So if they go like
That's true.
on a first come first serve basis.
Oh, I'm
You're-
in.
You've got an in.
I'm lighting the cauldron.
yeah. So you're in there.
I'm thinking probably Leo's the only one on that list so far.
Probably.
Yeah.
Me and maybe
Says
a
the
cousin.
guy. Says the guy with the danger vest in his car. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
like I said,
he's-
the benefit though is Leo does have family out there. So like I said, he doesn't have to worry about like hotels and stuff like
No.
that.
That's true.
Now they are building. They are
There is
building a
some building,
village.
yeah.
They are putting it over by the Rose Bowl in Westwood, which is by UCLA, and of course,
Is the village just for the athletes, though?
it is because so the families are going to be in downtown LA, which is probably
Stab
I
City.
would say it's like
Yeah.
10 miles away, but in LA times that's like an hour away.
Yeah.
Right.
And then of course they've got the Memorial Coliseum, which is already built.
Someone's gonna get robbed. Let's just put it that
But
way.
opening
That
ceremonies.
happens anywhere.
Opening ceremonies will take place at the new stadium they're building for the LA Rams and the Chargers, which is Inglewood, LAX-ish. Actually, you can see it if you fly into LAX. You can see it on,
see the new
on
stadium?
final. Yeah.
So what is the draw? Like, let me ask you. Like, so what is the draw to the Olympics? Like, because here's the thing. I've tried watching it multiple times. Like, so, I don't know. Call me like I said, un-American or
Un-American.
whatever.
American, but first up, outside of everything but beach volleyball, as we brought up before, I can watch that all day, son.
Well, I can't even watch that. It's just it's one of those things.
You
where,
sure are not a man then.
I don't care. Like I said, I explained that reason earlier. I have the internet. It's one of those things where I have a hard time watching it, and for the simple fact of it's one of those like one and done type of events where I'm like, oh, I can't like, hey, you know what, grow into a relationship or grow into like sort of an engaged relationship with this event where like, hey, I'm progressing them like over time.
Right.
It's like, hey, you know what,
Like a normal franchise.
yeah,
team.
like so for example, like I love watching
So, yeah.
football. Like I said, I watch the Cardinals. Like I said, every week, just because like I said, I watch the franchise grow and churn and change over time. But like I said, the Olympics don't do that just because it's so simple.
So I think they do a little bit, right? Because there's qualifying events,
Yeah.
and, right? You have to build yourself up to that like
Right.
gold medal game or whatever.
Yeah.
Especially that they have, it's only once every 4 years.
But
Yeah.
to Jeremy's
Like,
point, Team USA isn't the same Team USA
Every
every
time.
Exactly.
And even during one Olympics, you can do that by watching all the other matches, but that takes work. I don't know when any of that stuff's on TV.
Well, it goes throughout, like, it's from like 9 to 9. Like,
Yeah, it's all
I don't
day.
have,
It's
I
all
don't
day.
have time to watch
I will
all of that
say,
shit.
so before I get into my why, I have a friend that does take a week, or not a week, he takes like 3 weeks off of work every 4 years, and he'll watch it from dusk to dawn. And it's not who you think it is, it's somebody else. But yeah, he'll
touche.
let me stop you there before he throws his name out on the internet.
Do I know this person?
You probably would. It's a legacy employee. They're no longer with us.
Yeah, no, I think I know who you're talking about too.
Yeah.
It's not who I initially went to.
But yeah,
Who
they
likes
take
tennis.
They take time.
No,
I almost want to say the name.
Let's keep going.
KM.
No.
No.
No, doctor.
Oh, okay.
So my why, it's kind of soft and feel goodery, but I love the opening ceremony just because it kind of tells the story of the host country. first, and then you see the Parade of Nations. Like, I'm very all unity and cool and feel goodery and what have you.
Leo loves hugs and rainbows.
Yep. But I do love the sports that you don't get to see all the time. It's not really about the team for me as much. I mean, of course, Team America, but I love the sports you don't see all the time. The archery and I mean, I guess there are the professional ones out there, but
Triathlons.
like I won't watch basketball. I won't watch baseball. Like I don't watch those.
Baseball is an Olympic sport anymore. I don't.
Oh, it is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
okay.
they got rid of it.
I won't watch those typical sort of sports. I
The
just
things that you can watch every other day on TV.
right. I mean, and I guess to some extent you can still see track and field on TV, but I don't know. There's just that sort of novelty of the sport with the added piece that this doesn't happen all the time. It's all these nations coming together.
I'm looking forward to that unity when the North Korean weightlifters come out during the opening ceremonies and see how well that goes.
Right.
All right, so we grab as soon as you said this topic, we kind of rabble whole. So
We ranted. We needed a little bit of a rant.
no,
there was a pre-discussion
There
that
was
I
a
was
pre-discussion.
not. I was not
It
apprised of.
It wasn't even a pre-discussion. It was like I said, I'm like, okay, and I'm like, what terrible thing's gonna happen? Like I said, this sounds so horrible. I'm like, what terrible thing's gonna happen during the Olympics? I'm like, is North Korea gonna finally have the bomb that actually comes and reaches us? And then I'm like, okay, hey, Wikipedia, North Korea in the Olympics. So North Korea does participate in the Olympics.
They've won,
And they've
a decent number of times.
they have 56 medals.
No.
Like I think what 16 or something like that, 16 golds or something like that.
Yeah,
Like they have a
66
decent number.
They actually
Wow.
have.
They've won all, and surprisingly, it's in weightlifting.
Yeah,
like most often,
They're like in weightlifting and wrestling and
Holy
stuff like
crap.
that. Like,
right? Because that's what you think of when you think North Korea
North
wins.
Korea.
Right?
Yeah.
They have to bulk up to squash their American
Yeah.
Right.
enemies.
To squash those capitalist
to
pigs.
lay us to
Yeah,
ashes.
yeah.
I will say before we move on, I remember the Utah Olympics, and I remember watching the torch go by in LA. I lived in LA at the time, so I remember.
By the
watching
way,
it
we
go
know
by.
how to pronounce Utah.
Utah. Yeah.
I have a photo of it. I should have brought it so I could show you guys. But it was pretty cool because the guy shows up and they actually switched the runner right in front of us where we were standing, and they took off. So I am looking forward to seeing. I don't know if they'll come through Phoenix because it'll be like
doubt
180
it.
degrees.
Well,
So-
no,
Yeah, just for that.
no, nothing cool ever happens in Phoenix, so probably not.
But all in all, like I love the Olympics. I don't really watch the winter ones with as much intensity, although I do like the sweeping game. What is that? Curling.
Curling,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also known as giant shuffleboard.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I said Leo convinced me to watch the Olympics for the fact of I want to see Leo on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh,
no,
absolutely.
it's some volunteer committee.
If you do volunteer, I will look out for you. Like
absolutely.
that will be the only reason I
well,
watch
that I want to rescue you from like any type of like North Korean aggression.
Yeah, that will almost certainly occur in said Olympics.
If North Korea is still a country in 11
Right.
years.
Which we don't know. We won't get into that though.
Next week.
Next week.
That's next time.
Next week's
Let's talk geopolitics next time.
Yeah, episode 6.
Episode 6, geopolitical climate.
So if we're still a podcast in 2028, that's like 500 something episodes in. Just saying, we'll have to go back and listen to this one, episode 5. Yeah,
I don't think I want to
to
listen to any episode from the early on if we get that far, to be
Hey,
honest with you.
Episode 4, even though it's only last week. Episode 4 on. Once we figured out, kind of
We
like
actually finally got our shit together.
once we finally got our shit together, we got our like I said, we got our audio sources figured out. We actually have legitimate equipment.
I don't know. 5, you guys aren't sharing a mic, so I think 5 and
this,
4.
This
Oh,
one
yeah.
is the first time that shitty mics that we bought. Mine apparently out of 4 of the same mic that we bought, 1 didn't work. So I think that's actually pretty good for a $30 mic.
That's pretty good for a $30 mic.
Yeah.
You know, take note, IRS. Like I said, we have legitimate equipment now.
Yeah.
So we have, like I said, the mixer, we have the mics all set up.
When I go to write shit off, don't give me shit.
Yeah, so if we make it to some 567 episodes, whatever down the road, by the time the Olympics come around, I'm pretty sure we'll all have better mics. We'll all be in different jobs. We'll all have.
I'll have
be
to
able to-
call in from LA and
Yeah.
do the show.
Do the show live
Skype,
on scene.
Yeah, live chat in, and I said we'll actually have that'd be an interesting episode.
So
I'm standing here.
yeah, as Leo live on correspondent. So
So we know what we're watching in 2028, right?
yeah, of
So,
course.
so
I
what
don't know what I'm watching next week.
I don't even know what I'm gonna watch when I get home.
I know what I'm watching next week because on Friday, September 22nd, Fuller House season 3 drops on Netflix.
Oh,
You know what though?
Pause for effect.
And
I was gonna say.
and
I think you're the only one that's actually excited about
No,
that.
I'm
that was the few shows
no,
that
no,
I didn't
no,
want to
no,
bring back.
no, he's not.
Okay. I was going to say, because I kind of felt bad with that comment.
I'm the only one that doesn't watch that.
So
No.
because I loved it. Like I said, I love Full House was one of those shows on TGI Fridays. You know, I'm waiting for them to come back
Yep.
with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yep.
No. Here's the thing. Oh, if they bring dinosaurs back, my ass will be glued to the couch. But
On Friday nights.
Full House was great. Fuller House, I can't get into. I don't care what they've done later. Just like, give me a different, like something along the line. Give me a different family. I don't care what they've done 20 years down the road.
Have you watched the entire season?
No, I couldn't get through the damn thing.
Like it starts. The main appeal is the nostalgia.
Yeah.
But like it's its
like
own thing.
it's like watching Arrested Development when it went to Netflix. Like,
Yeah. If you treat it as if you treat it as its own thing, it's not bad, because I thought, I'm like, okay, you know what, they're trying to, like I said, the first couple episodes they're like really trying to like harken back to, like I said, the old episodes, but as they progress through, like I said, it's its own separate story. You could tell it's Full House based, but it's not trying to be Full House.
It's still the characters.
Is
we
Uncle
love.
Jesse still there?
Every once in a while.
every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him,
'Cause no-
Joey, all
because-
the adults will make a few appearances.
Because that's what I need in my life, is a dose of John Stamos.
Like I said, like I said, Larry, I'm looking forward to Fuller House. Like I said, Netflix is actually playing on the TV in the background, or at least the advertisements are. Like I said, I'm like the 22nd. I'm like, I'll actually be watching it.
Well, now, speaking of fall TV, the greatest show that comes out in the fall just aired on Wednesday, and it is glorious. Because South Park is back.
South Park, yeah.
South Park is back. And it's back to individual episodes. So there are no
What were they doing
continuity.
before?
So the last, 2 seasons, really, they started doing a entire season arc of like a story that continues through all the seasons. So they still did their little jokes on pop culture, but it was all in the...
But there was a continuity aspect
There was
to
a
it.
continuity, and there was like one big, long storyline. And this year they...
You
they
can't
were
really
like,
change. I mean, how long has South Park been going on? And they
They're
threw
in
that
season
in 2
21
years
right
ago?
now.
It's
The
been on for
season
21 years.
So years, what is that, 19 and 20, they decided to switch up how they're going to do
Yeah,
it.
so they tried to switch it up to do so. Like the last one was they really don't like Trump, so they turned Mr. Garrison into Trump.
But then it
basically.
completely backfired on it, because like I said, everyone was expecting Hillary to win, but when she didn't, they really didn't know what to do with the last episode.
Oh,
so they
shit.
had to let go, and then they were like, this season they're finally like, all right, we're done. Like we want to go back to the way it was, and they actually so this first season still brings in the continuity from the prior season.
Oh, okay.
But then destroys it completely during the episode. Like, so it surprisingly, Cartman gets a girlfriend in the last season. This one, he breaks up with his girlfriend, and that was them basically. She was trying to keep the continuity going. Cartman breaking up with her is kind of the symbolization of like, no, we're going back to the way things were
Oh, okay.
Cutting that
before
rope.
you, right? So they made this great break, and the social commentary in South Park is phenomenal.
It's a great show.
It's a wonderful show, and it's a few of the shows that I will actually watch as it's airing instead of waiting for it to drop on Netflix or Hulu or whatever comes out afterwards.
So Larry, you mentioned Fuller House. So what new fall TV show, Netflix? It could be on any medium. What new show are you looking forward to, or that's coming back?
Probably, I'm gonna go with The Flash.
Okay.
That's probably number one, right? When that hits, I'll be watching that right away.
Same with me.
Same with me.
I think we all have the same gripe though. Please, please God, don't be another speedster.
Well, here's the thing. They haven't. Like I said, I forgot who they announced as far as who the main title villains will be. It's not supposed to be a speedster.
Yeah, that's good.
It's not supposed to be, but
He's gonna turn into a speedster
He's
by
gonna-
episode 3.
yeah,
So-
no, please just. I don't need another speedster. You've gone through all the comic ones I can think of. But the fact that you brought out Savitar, that is the most obscure speedster you could think of. You've run out of them. Give me something different.
Now, Larry, why do you specifically like The Flash? What draws you into The Flash? Because it's one of those shows that it took me a while to get into, but once I did, I'm like, okay, I gotta watch this every week now.
So I started a little bit late, maybe halfway through season 1. A friend at work highly recommended it. She said she enjoyed watching it with her kids, so I finally checked it out. And by the time season 1 was done, I was caught up and excited about the season finale and all that. I don't know a whole lot about the Flash, villain-wise and all that. So I really think it was kind of the slight mystery of season 1. The characters, the character development. Like I like Grant as Barry. It's pretty good.
Like I said, it gets you into, like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. I said it's characters that I can relate to.
For sure.
It's and they're different and dynamic
And that you
characters.
care about.
Yeah,
for the
that
most
you
part.
care about. Like, I care about Caitlin. I care about Cisco.
Yeah.
I care about Barry.
There's a good dynamic to it.
Yeah, right. It's a good team. It's a good family.
Right.
Season 1 was great. I recently rewatched it with my son. It is really good. Season 2 took a step down.
Right.
Season 3 took a couple of steps down. So hopefully with Season 4 they're able to jump back and recapture that magic.
Exactly.
The worst thing is like with comic book TV shows at the time when they came out, we really didn't have a good one. I mean,
Yeah.
they tried
Arrow
Blade,
is
they tried
fairly
Arrow,
groundbreaking, right?
They're groundbreaking, and then
Yeah.
they took that formula, like let's make the Flash, and it actually has like decent acting and like
I was-
good like production value. Like
I was nervous
CGI is good.
when they announced the Flash TV show, but after watching it, I'm like, I didn't. Like I said, to be honest with you, I didn't watch it from episode 1. I kind of like Larry. Like I said, I actually had someone at work, Susan. Remember?
Oh yeah,
Susan.
Yeah, Susan brought you
Yeah,
up.
a
Susan-
coworker actually
yeah,
convinced us
coworker-
to give it a shot.
I could give it a shot. And I
Although
said,
she also tried with Supergirl, and I said, "Fuck that."
Yeah,
So-
that's completely out of the question. I'll go next, and then Leo, I want you to go next. Probably the show that I'm looking forward to. Just like I said, I was gonna say Flash, but I'm gonna say Ash versus the Evil Dead. Season 3 will be coming out. Bruce Campbell in
Kills
Ash
it.
Like I said, he kills it. And like I said, if you haven't seen
Even-
Ash versus the Evil Dead,
all the people in that show kill it. Actually,
like I said,
like,
it's so campy. It's so funny. It's that Sam Raimi goofy horror.
it fits so well.
It's
Like
such
the
an awesome
gore
show.
and everything is great.
So like I said, I know if you haven't seen it, go out there, check out the first couple seasons. Like I said, those are out now. But Ash vs. the Evil Dead, that's coming back on pretty soon. That's what I'm looking forward to. Leo, what about you?
Mine, well, as you guys know, I'm a behind the times watcher. I usually wait for it to drop on Netflix or I wait for the episodes of Cash on Hulu. But I will say I started Designated Survivor last year, and that was probably my first live one I've done for a while.
That's the one with Kiefer Sutherland,
yeah,
right?
Kiefer, right?
with 24 guy.
Yeah.
I have to say I actually really enjoy it.
Jack Bauer's back.
It meets the Jack Bauer 24 franchise with just I am a sucker for American history, so like knowing these landmarks and the order of succession, like that's kind of what drew me in. I am watching a show now though. It started this summer, but they're calling it a fall line, but it's called Salvation, and it's Armageddon meets conspiracy theory. But basically there's a comet coming that's going to destroy the world, but it's actually a pretty good show.
What is that on?
It's on CBS.
It's on CBS?
But I actually accidentally found it on Amazon because I guess they got a partnership with this series right now. So you
Also,
actually,
it's their new version of the Dome, because I know they had
it's exactly that.
They're aired on both things simultaneously.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
So I found it by complete accident. But yeah, no, they're trying the whole Noah's Ark thing. You know what it is? It's Armageddon meets Day After Tomorrow.
So I'm glad that we're having this discussion because I hadn't heard about that yet.
Yeah,
but,
me either.
But I kind of want to go watch it now.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good because as soon as you think you're like, okay, yeah, we got a plan, and something else happens, you're like, damn, what? Come on, guys, we're gonna die in like 6 months.
Yeah.
What about you, Scott?
I know we talk about South Park, but what other shows?
So
yeah.
this one's kind of another show that had a kind of a rocky start, but I stuck with it, and it's actually pretty good. Comic book based. Lucifer comes back.
Oh yeah, it does.
In October.
I didn't know
beginning
that
of
was
October.
comic book based.
Yeah, so
No.
it's Neil Gaiman, same guy who does Preacher, who made the
Great show, by the way. Like I
Yeah.
said,
Preacher's
that's wrapping up.
just wrapped up, so we're not going to talk about that as a fall TV, but go check it out when it drops on Amazon and everything. But yeah, same kind of same comic book label made Lucifer, which basically follows the devil who decides, screw hell, I'm going to go just party on Earth.
Well, and here's the thing: I didn't give it a chance until you actually told me about it.
Yeah.
But once you actually started like telling me about it, I started watching it. I'm like, it actually
It's not
surprised
bad.
me. Yeah.
It actually looks really good. I've
It looks
seen
good.
clips of it.
Now, one thing they deviated from the comics is they added this whole kind of police drama aspect to it, which is way far away from anything the comics ever did. But it makes it for more of a serialized kind of, they have the crime of the week or whatever, so it gives it more of a way to kind of give it that progress the story without it being too dark or weird.
Sherlock got canceled, right? The Lucy Liu one.
Oh, I don't know on that one.
Well, because I think they were on the same network, but they were just kind of following the same thing.
I
Same thing,
remember. I think I remember seeing something like that, but I'm
Yeah,
not
but
sure.
they started around the same time. But I remember Lucifer kind of like setting itself apart from.
Lucifer was great
that
because
lineup.
it talked about I mean the main character is the devil. Like a bunch of religious people started getting all butthurt about it because they're
I
like,
remember that,
oh,
yeah.
like you're making the devil seem really cool, and it kind of had this weird drawback to it where people started actually going to check it out versus it, like taken away.
Any press is good press.
Right, any press is
Yeah.
good press. And when you're talking about like the main character is literally the devil, and people are like, I'm gonna go check
People
the
are
show
getting
out.
pissed off.
Yeah,
I don't wanna
that,
see
and then
it.
like I said from what I've seen too, like I said he does actually good things. Like,
Yeah, he does decent things. Like he's not like what you'd expect, and
He's not the devil.
He's not the devil. But like the guy who plays it, and I can't remember his name for the life of me for right now. The actor does a really good job.
He does a really good job.
He plays this really suave character. Like it's really good. So I think both seasons you can watch them on Hulu right now. I think it's the only place that has them.
Yeah.
Since it's Fox, I think they're the only
partnership that they
partnership
have
with them or
throughout
whatever.
the seasons.
Check it out on Hulu. But yeah, coming up here in October, the beginning, the new season drops.
So I've got one more. All
Oh,
right.
I actually have one that I
you
will say
do?
to avoid.
Oh,
So
go for
once
it.
you go with your
right,
number,
cool.
and then we'll do the
All right,
one
then
to
we'll do
avoid.
things to avoid.
Yeah.
You want to be funny, right? We said before
Is
either
it-
one.
if
it's the same thing-
if it's the same thing,
I doubt it is.
No, it isn't. It isn't. So we
Jeremy,
put
you know what I'm talking about.
a request out on social media to see what you guys are watching, right? And Roxanne on Instagram commented that she just recently finished Stranger Things season 1.
Season 2 is coming out.
Season 2 comes
Season two
out
is coming
October
out.
27th when the world's going to stop and watch Stranger Things season
yeah.
2.
so like I said, I'm waiting for Netflix to crash. Like I said, and completely.
Oh,
stop.
it will.
Because like I said, I think this is like I said beyond. Like I said, Stranger Things. I think crosses multiple different genres and multiple different audiences where they can relate to it. I think that's why. Like when we talked about it last week, I think that's why that did so well. Is
Oh,
just because
yeah.
it's kind of
It's
it
the
has that
realm of the
Stranger Things
familiar.
feel.
Yeah. Well, and you think about it, like we have all the comic book shows that we talked about, like the Defenders and things before. Those are great, but there's only a certain group of people that are going to watch that.
Right.
Whereas if
Yeah.
you have a show that takes place in the 80s and brings up all the nostalgia that you can think of for the 80s, anyone our age is going to watch that.
Yeah.
The hype is going to be crazy, right? Defenders, Daredevil season 2, even Daredevil season 1, right? People are like, "Oh my god, Marvel on Netflix.
This is great."
This is Stranger Things 2 is going to be huge."
It's it's gonna.
I'm looking forward. Like I said,
it will break records
I
of
will
something.
watch. Like I said,
Yeah.
I said, I think the first season, because like I said, I didn't watch it right away. I think was a little bit overhyped, but I said I will definitely watch it. Just so that way, so that way we can talk about it. But then two, just because like I said, it's that
You
that
have
80s
to.
nostalgia.
You have to.
I would expect a podcast dedicated to Stranger Things season 2 sometime around
probably
the end of
coming up.
October, yeah.
Coming end of October.
So what was your show?
All right. So the show that I want to say,
Stranger Things 2.
Stranger Things 2. It actually is. No. I love the guy who made it, Seth MacFarlane, but fuck the Orville. Like that show. I mean, hopefully it gets better from
I
this.
heard
but
it
that pilot
bombed.
was awful.
Well, it was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't.
Wasn't-
funny.
Is that the spacey Star Trek one?
Basically,
It's-
it's
it's,
rip off Star Trek.
It's rip off
supposed to
Star
be-
Trek with Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, Seth MacFarlane ripping on Star Trek, and there was not a joke that they did that actually landed for me.
Well, I think because here's the thing: everyone went into it thinking, "Hey, this is satire. This is gonna be funny." This is great. And then the entire first episode was like a serious like space drama.
Right.
Like it wasn't funny.
With like quips. Like the best jokes they had were like little quips, and like when he's meeting all the officers and he's trying to like the awkwardness of him meeting like. I'm not one of those people that thinks like awkward situations are that funny. Like when you see like an actor like, oh, this is awkward. I just said something really stupid. That's not funny to me. But like that show was built off of awkward situations.
He's had some misses though recently, right? Wasn't there like a cowboy movie or
A
something?
Million Ways to Die in the West
Yes.
did do well, but it was actually pretty
It
funny.
was hilarious.
Yeah, like it actually had some good jokes in it.
Like
this
the Christopher Lloyd.
the Christopher Lloyd
thing was
DeLorean
pretty
was
funny.
great, but like because it banked on that nostalgia. But this one is just like we're gonna do Star Trek, but it's not Star Trek, and we're gonna try to be funny, but we don't want to do anything that like I've done before in terms of jokes. It didn't.
But he's
fit well.
typecasted. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't reinvent yourself.
Yeah,
He's-
like
he's too far along.
You're known for like this wacky, off the wall humor,
Yeah.
and when you try to do subtle like satire, it doesn't work.
No.
Yeah. Well, I'll give it another chance, but like I
I'll
said,
keep watching.
It's like I said, maybe we'll have an update next week after the next couple episodes.
If
drop.
it gets better, I will eat my words.
I will
Record it. I will come on here and be like, you know what?
completely do the same.
I was wrong, but I don't think I will be.
All right, so last couple of things we have for you guys is like so we have some new things coming. We've heard back from you guys in regards to what you want to see. You actually wanted to like so we saw a couple comments there. You actually want to see us doing this, so we're actually recording this right now. Don't know.
I like how you just you almost gave the guns. You gave like, yeah.
the shooter McGavin.
You gave the shooter like, yeah.
So like I said, we'll see if the actual video makes it up. Like I said, depends on how the quality looks and this, that, and the other. Because
this is a first for us.
This is a first, and the lighting kind of sucks right now because
But if not,
it's getting dark.
If not this week, soon.
Yeah, we will do something where we get some content.
We'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah. We got some unboxings coming up. We actually tried to get the Bandbox horror box, but that actually sold out, kind of surprisingly.
Wow.
So maybe
Good for them.
So good, definitely good for that company. You got to give them props for being a local company here. But we do have the normal Bandbox coming up. We'll have an unboxing with that. Like I said, we will be the first ones to have it. Like I said, we were the first ones last month. That's kind of the cycle that it goes through. Just because like I said, my house is typically like I said, it's about 5 miles from the facility that those get shipped from.
You gotta love priority mail.
You gotta love that priority mail and that fast shipping. So like I said, we'll have that video coming out.
We will have a loot crate coming up here
unboxing
soon.
coming out. We have an unboxing that we're filming tonight. That we'll tell you about here in a little bit.
It's special, so look for that video.
Yeah, look for that video. That's pretty exciting from a package that later we got. We got all that stuff coming up. We got a lot more video content coming up. So definitely, we appreciate all of our subscribers out there so far. For all the new listeners out there, definitely be sure to like and subscribe to the to the channel. To definitely keep up to date on new content.
And leave comments.
Leave comments.
Every time you say something, we do read it, and we try to get better for every time you guys drop comments or suggestions.
There's 4 of us that are involved in this thing, and so like I said, if you leave a comment, so we're getting back to you. So we're getting back to you in some way, shape.
We actually had someone email us some suggestions as well. So I mean, shoot us an email. It's contact@stsguys.com.
That's actually what spawned kind of the TV, what we're watching now. So thank you.
Yeah, this week's episode was kind of like formatted to some of the suggestions that we've gotten. So it's just, I said continue to kind of expect new and great content from us, and continue to give us feedback, and we'll continue to try to do the best that we can to go ahead and provide that to you.
Hey Scott, so what did you unbox? What was the package I got that I let you open? I don't know.
Yeah, so yes, now that you're giving me the googly eyes,
you technically haven't done it yet.
That is getting recorded here shortly, but the unboxing that we're doing to go with the bumper that's going to be on this episode here is our first box with our friends from Frisky Britches.
Nice.
So we got our first box for them. So look out for that. It will be posted here probably shortly.
By the time you hear this,
it'll be posted.
It'll
be posted. Also, just want to give congratulations to our first winner of the first giveaway we did, Half Geek. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for leaving comments. Thank you for all the the shout outs on social media you've done.
All the shit you've done for us.
Yeah, and so we're definitely excited that you provided us all those different shout outs. We're excited to provide this to you. We sent you the email confirming that tracking earlier, so probably expect that in your mail here the next few days. And let us know. So we'd love to see you. So I know you have a channel as well. We'd love to see an unboxing from that. So if you want to go ahead and unbox that on channel, I said we'd love to see it. We also have one last thing that we want to talk about. We have International Podcast Day coming up. We don't know what we're doing yet. We're gonna plan something special. Like I said, we may do our first live stream that day. That might be an idea.
It's when is it? Saturday, September 30th.
September 30th. So here in a couple weeks.
Last Saturday of the month.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now. So we'll do something special for that. So we're still kind of figuring out what exactly we want to do, but we will definitely have something that kind of goes along with that theme.
The other thing too coming up here, Jimmy, do you want to go over our new giveaway?
Yeah, so we do have a new giveaway out for our first 100 subscribers on YouTube. So that is still up. Definitely go ahead and make sure to go ahead and click and like and subscribe on that video to be entered into that giveaway. Anybody who entered into our first giveaway is automatically entered into that giveaway as well. So for any new subscribers or new listeners out there, definitely go ahead and go over to that giveaway video. We are giving away that Deadpool Venom Pop to one of our first 100 subscribers. For that, I think we're pretty much done for this week. For
think
this
so.
week, episode 6, I'm Jeremy,
I'm Leo.
I'm Scott.
Larry.
and we're the STS guys. Have a good night, guys.